language. Fucking hell. Every time. Shit. All right. The language of geek culture. Very pretentious. That's what we are.
Yes, we are.
It really is very pretentious.
Yeah.
We're the language of geek culture.
Of geek culture.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Aguiar, and joining me is the Queen of the Damned, Heidi Burbeau.
Ooh, the Queen of the Damned.
Right.
Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing? You can't answer. I don't know why.
We're doing great.
We're already off the rails. 2 seconds in. Jesus Christ.
Well, if you want to listen to more of our antics, you can find our Geek-lish or our podcast and listen to our episodes at www.geek-lish or our Facebook page, geek-lish, or Twitter, geek_lish. And we're also on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes.
All right.
What is in the news, Tim?
Well, an old friend of ours is back in the news again.
An old friend?
Yeah.
That...
The Church of Satan.
What?
Yeah. Again. Well,
we gotta go there.
I know, we have to go. Again. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm not joining anything. Mom. I'm not like, whatever. But, yeah, apparently, well, the Golden Globes this past couple of weekends ago.
Oh, right. Yep.
Christian Bale won the award for Best Actor in a movie that he did.
Oh.
It was Vice, and he played Dick Cheney in that movie. Do you remember?
Yeah, I saw.
It looked really good.
I saw the commercials.
So he won Best Actor for that role.
Nice.
And during his acceptance speech, he thanked Satan during his acceptance speech.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He thanked Satan, and he said he'll be cornering the market on playing charisma-free public figures. And he asked the crowd, which were very like, what's he talking about?
What's happening right now?
What's happening right now? And he's like, what do you think? Mitch McConnell next? That could be good. And so, yeah. But the funny thing about this is that people not at the award ceremony didn't get the point of what he said.
Okay.
Because he thanked Satan.
Right.
Now, what do you think he means by that?
Well, everybody thanks God.
Right.
And if he's thanking Satan, is he talking about Trump?
No.
Oh.
He was thanking Dick Cheney.
Oh, he calls Dick Cheney
He
Satan?
called Dick. Yeah, he pretty much called Dick Cheney Satan.
Well, that might be legit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because he thanked.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I totally missed that. I might have got it if I was watching the show.
Right.
While it was happening. But I could see how you could miss it if somebody's just telling you.
Yeah, and apparently a lot of people didn't watch the Golden Globes. Because a lot of people were very upset with what he said.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
A lot of people are always upset at something.
Yeah, Franklin Graham, who is a evangelist,
Oh, jeez,
said on his Twitter, Satan is a real being, and the world of God has a lot to say about him and his future. The devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. That was what he tweeted. That was one of his tweets. And, all of the comments like, yeah, praise Jesus. What the hell is Christian Bale thinking? I'm not going to watch any more of his movies.
Oh,
like,
geez.
people, you missed the point of what he's saying. He was making a joke.
To be fair, Christian Bale is super
controversial.
Yeah, he's controversial, but he's also very dry.
He is.
So I could see how you can miss his.
He's also British.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
Oh.
That's why you can never tell.
People really need to do their homework more. Really watch the clip or, educate yourself or get all upset about something that's not a thing.
Right. Well, the Church of Satan didn't help matters.
Oh, God.
Well, because they jokingly around, they got the joke.
Okay, they got the joke.
So they got the joke, and they tweeted, Hail Christian, Hail Satan. Which is just a great response to the whole situation. Oh, it was so funny. And it's like, because here's a guy who's playing Dick Cheney in a movie, and I think one of the things he said during the acceptance speech was, I want to thank Satan and, the giving me what I needed to play the role.
Yeah.
He's obviously talking about Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Because Dick Cheney gave him everything he needed to play that
All
role.
the material.
All the material. All the material.
Yeah.
Like, guys, get over the whole situation. It's not that serious.
No, but people get upset about commercials and everything else.
I know. It's a sad world we live in.
We're in a sad place in history in our country, and maybe around the world, but definitely in America.
Yeah, but that's everything that happened with Christian Bale. Like,
and I did hear a little bit like there's some controversy about controversy. That's not a word.
That's not a word.
No, I'm making up stuff.
Controversy?
There you go.
There we go.
That's the word. I knew there was something about it, but I deliberately didn't look into it because I knew you were going to talk about it.
It blew up more than it should have.
Yeah.
Because it was an acceptance speech
does.
at the Golden Globes. He's not a world leader. He's an actor.
Yeah.
Let's calm down.
Yeah.
Jeez. Let's not.
Yeah,
Let's not take what he says as law, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to thank Satan. Okay, cool, Christian. That's whatever. I don't care.
All right.
Just get your globe and get off. The band is going to play you off soon. Like, just shut
wrap
up.
it up.
We still have a show to do.
Yeah.
Can we get this going? But yeah, that's just ridiculousness.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that happened there. And then also, someone else is getting sued.
Man.
There's a lot of lawsuits happening.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy.
Our society is very litigious.
Apparently. Like, everyone's getting sued for stuff. And it's the weirdest thing because Netflix is getting... Netflix... Again! Oh, that's right. They were sued by the Church of Satan. Another old friend of ours is back at it again. This time they're getting sued by the Choose Your Own Adventure creator.
Okay, I love those. I have 3 of those books in the studio right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right up there.
Yeah, I'm glad she's pointing for only me. Because we know that the audience can't look. We're not crazy.
But I know those books. I love those books.
Right. And they're suing because Netflix just released a new show. Well, a new kind of mini event for their series Black Mirror, which is a great series.
Yep.
And they released a special episode called Bandersnatch. And the show was kind of being sold as this choose your own adventure episode. So periodically throughout the episode, they would prompt you to choose which path the main character would take. So it was pretty good. It got a little gimmicky at certain points, but all in all, it wasn't bad, and it was an interesting kind of first go at a TV show to do this, because I'm only 32. I haven't been around. I don't know if they've done this in the 80s or not, or they've attempted it. I can't see if they would have. I don't know. I want to say that maybe they did that like VHS tapes that like fast forward to this minute. And you get your own. I want to say they tried to do that. Maybe. I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know. They could.
I could be thinking of like a past life that was like, let's invent this. That's stupid. Get the hell out of here. I don't know. Leave me alone. But yeah, the creator of this is the name of the company, Chooseco LLC.
What is it?
Chooseco.
Okay.
LLC. CHOOSECO. Oh, Chooseco. Idiot. God, I'm a moron. What is wrong with me today?
I don't know.
So Chooseco LLC, not a stupid name after all. They're a Vermont-based publisher of the book series, filed a lawsuit in Vermont federal court. They're asking for $25 million from Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so
they say it infringes on trademarks.
Okay, first of all, I do see they have games on PlayStation, and I'm looking
Chooseco?
at... Yeah.
Get out of here. I didn't know that.
Point-and-click adventure, there's...
Oh, point-and-click adventures. Okay.
Yeah, which is basically which way.
Well, yeah.
But here's the thing. This is a genre.
Yeah.
Okay? I told you this. You can paint in the style of Van Gogh. You just can't paint Starry Night.
Right.
So I can paint Van Gogh. I have one in the studio. I can paint, it's not Van Gogh, but it's in that style.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Right.
And it's not a trademark.
Because it's a genre.
Yeah, it's a genre.
I feel like you can't copyright a genre. Yes,
yeah.
Right. It's a style of writing, or it's a style
this is a style of media.
It's a style of storytelling.
Yeah, you can't hold this is like somebody who created fiction going, no one can do fiction but me. That's not a thing.
No, that doesn't make any sense. And a copy of the suit, first published by BuzzFeed, claims that in 2016, Netflix sought to license sought a license to use the Choose Your Own Adventure trademark through the extensive negotiations never resulted in a deal. So maybe this is where it's stemming from.
I bet it is.
So apparently Netflix went in to try to get kind of permission, and they never came with a deal, and Netflix is probably just like, it's a genre. Just make it. What are they going to do, just sue us?
Well,
yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
That's exactly what they're doing, Netflix. Good job.
But the thing, Netflix is a huge company, and I'm sure they have a ton of attorneys that looked up all of this to see if they could do it or not.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they did, yeah.
I don't
but
see
also,
how that they could. I mean, maybe they could. Anyways.
But I guess it's not just that, because it looks, from what the website was saying at BuzzFeed, it said the suit also alleges the film's violent and graphic content, which includes a number of references to murder and drug use, is inappropriate for young adult readers of the book series, and is misappropriation of the company's trademark. So I think this might be what they're more worried about. Is that? But again, it's a genre.
Yeah, and also any adult who has a child that knows what Black Mirror isn't going to let them watch it. So do they think parents are going to go, oh, it's a witch way type of book, so it should be good for kids?
Yeah. Well, apparently, here's it's funny that you say that about parents, because some parents are upset. The creator quoted as saying, "We have received an unprecedented amount of outreach from people who believed we were associated with the creation of this film, including parents who were concerned that we had aligned the CYOA, Create Your Own Adventure brand, they knew and loved with content that surprised and offended them." That's what Shannon Gilligan, the co-founder and publisher of Choose Co., said in a statement. So people are offended.
Of course.
And they're upset that, I'm used to a certain type of story, and this isn't it. So Choose Co., what are you doing?
Yeah,
it's like we're not involved with this.
Yeah, but that's all they have to say is they're not involved in it. I mean, it's Black Mirror. Anybody who I don't even watch it, and I know what it is.
Right.
So
it's not family friendly.
No, and I don't really care to watch it just because it just doesn't seem interesting to me. I know that you and Lou love it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But if I never would have linked the two together, even knowing.
Yeah.
I would have. This is what I thought. Oh, so you're going to be able to pick what the people do in it. That's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought, oh, this is a kid's show.
Right. Because, I mean, traditionally, the Choose Your Own Adventure books are more aimed towards kids or young teens.
Young adults,
young adults. So I guess if you don't know certain media and you heard, oh, there's a Choose Your Own Adventure show coming out, oh, it must be aimed at kids or whatever the hell. And apparently not knowing what it is or doing an inkling of research, you would have discovered that, oh, this is a messed up show.
Yeah, but isn't that the problem?
In a messed up series, why would I let my kids watch this?
Yeah, but isn't that the problem with all of these stories that we talk about? A lot of it's misconceptions and misunderstandings because people don't do research. They don't look into things. They just jump to conclusions, and they want to be mad, and this is what they're going to be mad at for their next 10 minutes.
Yeah. If you did an iota of research, 10 minutes out of your day to just Google something, all right, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I am no longer upset because using my sophisticated human brain, I can tell that this is what this means, or this is what this person meant by that, or this is what this company is doing. Yeah, I don't have to be upset. I can just go along my day and worry about more important things like children not eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah, things that are actually important,
like
maybe.
This is what you want to plant your flag on?
Yeah.
Choose Co. Why are you backing the Black Mirror? We're not. Wow. They're doing choose your own stuff. Yeah. We're a genre. You don't go to the movie theater and go, excuse me, movies? I thought this was going to be for my kids because Disney makes movies. I didn't know there was going to be naked butts in there. Lady, we're a genre. Yeah. You can't.
We're a media.
We're a
form
media.
Of entertainment.
You can't just be like, just let people go. I didn't want to look at things and do some reading. So I was just like, blindly believing whatever you tell me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Stop. And just be offended. I'm so
just be offended by it. That's the other weird thing. It's just silly. So our next story, I don't know why just now I sounded like, it really sounded NPR there.
I know.
So our next track by Coltrane.
My culture.
All right. Anyway, sorry guys. The next story is about Soldier Boy.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was until you guys told me. I heard the name.
Yeah.
Kind of, but I didn't know.
I think he's only really well known for that one song, "Crank That." You know, that Superman, that hoe. I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah.
It's a stupid song. There was a dumb dance craze for a while. I don't know. But anyway, this guy who's I guess his rap career is really non-existent at this point. He decided to jump into the field of game consoles. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own game console. So he made a game console. I think it was called the Solja game console. It's a really stupid name.
Yeah, just to get your name on something.
Really just to get his name on stuff. And what he did was he had pre-bought these game consoles that were being sold on like these Chinese counterfeit websites. Mm-hmm. So these games were being sold for, you know, so much, hundreds of dollars, and I think the original prices were like $300 for these consoles.
That he was selling them for?
That he was selling them for, yeah.
Okay.
But here's the funny thing is that I don't know where he learned marketing from, but I don't know why he thought this would work, but he would put up like the original price of $639, crossed it out, and then underneath it was like sale $300. Like, does he think people are gonna be like, "Whoa, it was $640, now I can get it for $300"? Sold.
Yeah.
Send it to me now. Like, that's, where did you learn that? That's.
I think that's like community college marketing.
Yeah, that's the stupidest. That's like the lowest level of trying to sell something.
Like just learning marketing.
Yeah, it's like, well, this
101.
used to cost me $12,000, but you can have it for $500. Like, what do you? Am I supposed to think that's a bargain?
Yeah.
This thing's worth two tops.
Yeah.
And he's selling this thing for like $200, and this had a bunch of illegal ROMs on the console.
What's that?
Illegal ROMs are they're it's kind of hard to explain. What they are is that they're illegal game files that these companies kind of take out and are able to put into these ROM drives that you can play anywhere. So you're playing legitimate games that were illegally kind of stripped and put onto these ROMs.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, please. But that's what I think of them as. So we had these illegal ROMs from Nintendo, Capcom, PlayStation, from a lot of big name companies.
Right.
And he was, people were calling him out on Twitter saying like, you do realize what you're doing is illegal. There's no way Nintendo is going to let you get away with this.
Oh, yeah, not Nintendo.
And, especially not Nintendo.
Yeah, that's the worst one
They
to
are
go after.
notorious for just, if you draw Mario, you're going to get sued.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. But yeah, he was trying to defend himself by telling these, random followers that, you don't know the business, you don't know the dealings behind. I have a deal with Activision, I have a deal with there's no way in hell that these companies agreed to give you licenses of these games to put on fake Chinese crap.
No.
There's no way in hell.
No.
And your fan base is, mostly my age or younger. We're all gamers. We're not stupid. We know how the gaming community works more than you do, obviously.
I learned about how notorious Nintendo is from somebody significantly younger than me.
Right.
I didn't know.
Exactly. So if people tell you that what you're doing is kind of illegal and to watch out because you're going to get sued, take heed. Listen to that advice, because you're more than likely going to get sued. And surprise, surprise, he got sued.
Shocker.
Nintendo sent his ass a cease and desist. And they were like, why don't you just stop what you're doing before we sue you for a abundant amount of money? Because I think one of his big mistakes was that he bragged. He was claiming and he was bragging on his Twitter that he sold 5 million consoles. To who? Who did you sell 5 million consoles to? Let's be honest. You didn't sell any. You're trying to make it sound like you're selling them so that way people can go, oh, man. Again, this is community college marketing class.
There's nothing wrong with community college.
Nothing wrong with community college.
I went to community college. We're just saying, like, beginning marketing.
Yeah, this is like
101.
Yeah, you bought the art of the deal, and that's where you're getting your marketing from. Well, it's good enough for that guy. I think I can sell it the same way. You can't just go. You can't just tell people, oh, I mean, this is selling off the shelves. Yeah. You better come get some. And it used to be $640. Now it's only $3. So it's a bargain. Like, people aren't that stupid. And again, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Some people are stupid.
I'm like,
not all people are that stupid. There we go. Let's not broaden that.
Okay.
I just said 2 stories of stupid people.
Yeah, I know. Let's
be serious. There are some stupid people. But the majority of people, especially in the gaming community, aren't stupid enough to believe that you're selling fake Chinese consoles filled with illegal ROMs. For a stupid amount of money. Like, that's expensive. I could buy a legitimate system for cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Why would I buy a fake system? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Who's selling this? And on his website, on his like Solja website, he's selling the Solja watch and all this other stuff, which is it's just insane. But so we got a cease and desist. And he went on Twitter and he pretty much told people on Twitter, like, I had to stop. I had to walk away. You had to walk away? Like, don't make it sound like it was your choice, Solja. All right? Don't be like, I had to put it down. I realized I got to spend more time with my family. Listen. Knock it off. Don't be like, don't sound like you're above it all.
Yeah.
You were told, put it down and get the hell out. Yeah. Because if you touch it again, you're going to owe us a lot of money.
There's no way to save face in that. Especially when you, like, verbally did the smackdown to people who were saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing this.
The verbal smackdown consisted of homophobic slurs, and he was, swearing at people. Oh, all you guys are upset because I'm a black man being successful. Geez. No, we're upset because you're putting illegal ROMs of these big name companies on a fake Chinese box.
Yeah.
That's what we're upset about.
Who was using homophobic?
To people tweeting at him on Twitter.
They were to him or he was to them?
He was to them.
Oh, geez.
He was telling them,
come on.
Whatever. Because you can't have a legitimate argument without calling somebody a name.
Here's the thing. You look at Jay-Z, who's incredibly successful, and he's a very well-spoken man. Yeah. And he doesn't think to those levels.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. If he disagrees with you, he's most likely going to do it
with a conversation.
In a conversation, in a way a businessman will handle it.
I also don't think he would have ever been in this situation because he's incredibly intelligent, that he would have made sure he wasn't doing anything that would jeopardize his empire.
Right.
This guy's trying to build the empire off of lies and illegal things.
Yeah. Very nefarious. Very nefarious.
The word arises.
I had to get it in there. I feel like I wasn't using it enough today. But yeah, it's nuts. But here's the thing. He hasn't learned his lesson.
Oh, jeez.
Because he's back at it again. Solja Boy is
back
at it again. Crank that. He's selling a new console. This one's much cheaper. Yeah, the new console entitled again, it's Solja console. This one's just Solja console. One word. It's
Okay.
really stupid. It costs between $30 to $100. It's more of a this one's more of a handheld, like a Game Boy or
Right,
a
yeah.
PlayStation Vita. And from sources, and I've seen images, it looks similar to a PlayStation Vita or a PSP. The PlayStation's handheld, what they tried to do, it kind of looks like that. But
Okay.
again, it's a cheap Chinese knockoff.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
he did the same thing.
He did the same thing, but this time this one's filled with over 3,000 pre-installed games that these are legally allowed. So these
that's
are
good.
actually fine. There's still kind of name brands, but I don't know if there's an age limit with these games, or if maybe he went through a third party and they were like, yeah, sure, it's fine or whatever. But supposedly he has over 300 pre-installed games that are completely legal.
Okay.
But here's where the nefarious comes in on Solja's part. Yeah, he tweeted,
Okay.
all my fans send me something. Cash.me/$Solja Boy NPR. I will pick a random donator who sends the largest donation and give you a free Solja watch and Solja console. Tweet me when you're done. So he's asking his fan base to send him money to kind of launch the game console. People are not
He's the
happy.
individual person version of Bethesda.
Oh my God, he is.
He just keeps.
If Bethesda was a single person, it'd be Solja Boy.
Soldier Boy.
So just stop cranking that and put it down.
Because he keeps doing really ridiculous things that
It's
are
just really like just stupid things that
Yeah.
this doesn't make. Why would I'm at a loss of words?
I know it.
Why would you think this would work?
I guarantee you somebody's sending him money though.
No, I'm sure
guarantee
there
you.
are certain people sending him money.
Yeah.
But I had read recently that the majority of his fan base are not happy that he's asking them for money for this console, which they most likely legitimately don't believe is a real thing or is legal, or like if somebody was just sued for doing something highly illegal and they were going to do the exact same thing just on a smaller scale and came to your house and said, hey, give me can you give me some money so I can fund the project? No, because I don't want my name attached to this.
Yeah.
This is the same thing you did before, just smaller.
Yeah, but if you look at Trump University, Trump Steaks, these are all businesses that
I know
went under, were very nefarious, and he got elected president. That's what I'm saying. Like, people will believe anything. And he has to have fans that are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to send him money because I'm going to get his watch. Like, who cares about that? But this person might really care about that.
Not to say that there aren't. He has to be getting something from somebody. There's no way he's getting nothing from nobody. There's no way. That's not the world we live in.
Look at televangelists. People will send them so much money.
Yeah,
you know,
that's absolutely true.
So I believe, and it's unfortunate because these are probably younger people who are falling for this gimmick that he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't possibly have any kind of like real respect in business anywhere.
No, he
because
can't.
He's already damaged his reputation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. He didn't really even have a kind of a reputation to begin with.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
the other thing.
Is he trying to be relevant in a really, really, like?
Yeah.
Is he going? Even negative press is good press.
Yeah.
Kind of
I mean, it would be absolutely genius if this was all just a ploy to relaunch his new album.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I would be legitimately impressed that, like, well, that was actually a good idea. You got your name back in the media. People are kind of talking about you. This is a great time to launch an album.
Yeah, he comes out and his album's called The Game.
Oh my God. If that happens, you owe us a lot of money,
Yeah, I
Solja.
know. That's our idea.
That's our idea. TM, create trademark. Patent pending. Patent pending. People
We
heard
have
it.
great ideas.
Huh?
We have great ideas.
Yes, but nobody's listening. But yeah, that's that story. Let's end that now before it gets any darker.
But you have out a video game.
A video game?
Yeah. Isn't Red what the heck? Red Dead Redemption being sued?
Rockstar.
Rockstar, that's what it is.
Which Rockstar made Red Dead Redemption. Yes, they are being, again, another person being sued.
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
like
lawsuits.
another lawsuit.
This should have been the lawsuit episode.
I know.
A lot more lawsuits this time around. But yeah, they're being sued by, this is weird, the Pinkerton Detective Agency.
Are they still around?
They still exist.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know
know
this
that.
either until I read the story.
I
They are still a legitimate organization. They do a lot of, I think it's like private security and stuff like that.
So they're not government related. They were kind of
I
like
don't think
government related back in the Wild Wild West, right?
The Wild Wild West.
I'm sorry.
No,
When I say the Wild West, I have to say Wild Wild West because I love that movie, even though I
The
know
Wild-
nobody loves it. But I love Will Smith. So
I do enjoy that movie as well. That was a pretty good movie. But yeah, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. So they're suing because in Red Dead Redemption 2 they're pretty much the villains, the main villains of the story.
okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you play a group of outlaws.
Okay,
so
I could see. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're the bad guy, the good guys are the villains.
technically you're the bad guy, but from your point of view, you're the protagonist. You're the
Right.
you're hero.
Yeah.
So the gang of outlaws they're the protagonists of this game, and the Pinkertons are the antagonists. They're constantly going after. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
But in the game, they're kind of portrayed as these kind of scoundrelly, nefarious type of guys that will go above and beyond to get these gangsters.
Okay.
And they have been known in real life they were known as the guys who firebombed Jesse James's mother's house
Wow.
back in the Wild Wild West. Wiki. But I'm sorry. They
Can't unhear that.
you can't hear it. No, you can't hear it. Not now. And dozens of people won't hear it now either. But yeah, they've done some pretty screwy things in their own history. Like, yeah, I think they worked for Lincoln at the time of his presidency when they were first coming up, and
Like before the Secret Service kind of thing.
yeah, they were almost like the first Secret Service, so to speak. But but they were also hired by certain companies during like strikes during the early 1900s, and even those companies were saying bad things about the Pinkertons because they would do some sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
They would, attack some picketers, and there was even the most notorious example of this was the Homestead Strike of 1892, when Pinkerton agents killed 11 people while enforcing strike-breaking measures in order to restore order. 2 brigades of state militia had to be called out because of these Pinkertons, because of what they did.
Okay.
Because they went a little too much.
Excessive force.
They used overly
Deadly
excessive. They
force.
killed 11 people.
Deadly force.
And I think even in that situation, in another article I read, two Pinkerton agents also died during that altercation. So they're not clean.
Yeah.
Their history isn't kind of clean.
Yeah, it's not pure.
Yeah, it's not a pure history.
Like they didn't do anything wrong in history.
Right. But so they're upset at how they're portrayed in the video game. Like this is almost like the KKK being mad. Like, I don't know why movies have to show us hating black people. Because you hate black people.
Yeah.
Because of the horrible things you do to people.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I don't know why this movie is portraying us in such a shitty way.
You know the KKK is trying to
Are they?
Yes. They said that they're not racist.
Okay.
They don't
Okay.
hate black people. They just are. They believe that white people are the superior race, which is the
That's
same thing.
racism.
Yeah.
That's
So
being
yeah,
racist.
they're trying to rebrand themselves right
Okay,
now.
well, go a different way.
Yeah,
Because
good luck.
That's not, yeah, and also good luck. Actually, no, fuck you. No, good luck.
I know.
I hope it fails and you blow ups in your face. But this, I mean, all right, that's a little excessive. But it's almost the same thing because the Pinkertons, their history isn't great.
Yeah.
So to be upset that a video game portrays you as going a little extra to get your man, it kind of goes with history,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is also not a historically accurate game. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
This-
they didn't do what
The-
Battlefield 5 did.
Yeah, what Battlefield 5 did.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5. Jesus Christ. The one with the amputee lady.
Yeah, it was Battlefield 5.
Yeah, Battlefield 5. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, they didn't go that route.
Right.
It was just, it's a Rockstar game. You know it's going to go, it's going to be kind of over the top action and violence. And you're really in it for the storytelling. And the Pinkertons play good villains in the story opposite the protagonist of Arthur Morgan. So I don't know. The lawsuit doesn't seem to have any real base there.
It doesn't seem to have any
Because
merit.
you can't be mad at a video game company for portraying you as being bad. Even if your entire history is clean and you didn't do anything wrong and you were just like, all we did was, feed children and save people from fires. Okay, this is also a video game in a fictional timeline. Who cares? Nobody's looking at this and going, yeah, you know what? That Pinkerton agency are real bad guys.
Well, first of all, some of us didn't even know they still existed.
Exactly.
But
So
I
wait
do think some people would believe that's how they are.
Eh,
I think
that's,
the
yeah.
tone of this episode is that some people are stupid.
I know. I don't know why I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I have to keep reminding you.
You gotta keep going, Tim. Remember, people are stupid.
I literally ordered a mug today with an angry chicken on it. And it said, "Who left the box of idiots open?"
Oh, that's funny.
So there's people out there that are not going to look into it. And they're not going to look into the history of the Pinkertons. They're just going to believe that this is legit. But it is,
Right.
to a certain extent, because
Yeah.
they don't have a clean history.
Yeah, but I guess Pinkerton president Zach Zaran. I don't know. Yeah.
It's such a
Oh,
douchey
I'm sorry.
name.
Jesus.
No, I'm kidding.
Jack Zaran.
Okay, Jack's
I'm so
better.
sorry. Complained that his employees were put in the awkward position of having to, quote unquote, explain to their young game players why Red Dead Redemption 2 encourages people to murder Pinkertons. Because you're the bad guys of the video game. It's like in action movies. Do you think World War II movies, German families are having to explain to their kids, well, this is why we're having to, these guys are having to kill us. You're bad guys in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you're having to be killed. Because you're bad guys in a movie.
But again,
You're bad guys in a video game. It's not encouraging people to kill Pinkertons.
he's making it sound like they have to have this big sit down and explanation. This is what you do. It's a video game.
Yeah.
That's it. End of story. It's a video game. It's not real life.
Yeah. They accused Red Dead of rewriting history to create profit in the present at the expense of real life people who represent a brand today. That was Heidi, not me. I want the record to show I was the adult.
Yeah.
Because last episode I made the sound. Today it was the lady. Okay.
That's my thought on that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Knock it off.
Get over yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's not that serious.
Yeah. Pinkertons are seen shooting horses, shooting guns, and firebombs into buildings
Which
where
they
women and
did.
children are present. Yes, they did that. Jesse James's mother's house.
They did firebomb.
So you did that. And as violent villains in the community. Yes, at the point of view of the main characters who are criminals. So any form of law to a criminal is going to look like a jerk or an asshole.
yeah. They're gonna
Because you're the law and you have to abide by the law and you have to enforce it. Of course, criminals are going to be like, well, these guys are assholes. Like, you're not looking at it that way. Like, you have to look at it at
Yeah.
the point of view of the characters who's being played.
Yeah,
Nobody's
it's reference. You gotta look at
you
the
gotta look at the reference. There's a perception there you have to look at. And it's, So Pinkerton first issued a cease and desist letter to Take-Two in December and demanded either royalties or a lump sum for their troubles. Take-Two hit back, asking for a judgment to have the characters in Red Dead declared fair use under the First Amendment, and suggested that the new Pinkertons are trying to profit from Red Dead's enormous success, as Pinkerton agents have turned up in fiction quite a lot, which they have.
Yes, they have.
Deadwood and BioShock Infinite jump to mind, which BioShock Infinite had Pinkerton characters in it, which are also not great people. They might have a point, as Take-Two's lawsuit puts it. Pinkertons cannot use trademark law to own the past.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if your history was squeaky clean, this is a fictional game about fictional characters. You're playing as a criminal. The law is obviously going to be the antagonist to these protagonists.
Exactly.
That's how storytelling works.
Yes.
No one's trying to rewrite history. History has been written that you guys are not great.
Yeah.
Okay? Even though you kind of turned it around, and there were times in your existence that you were good.
Yeah.
Under
But the video game is not taking place now.
Yeah. Under new management, you're fine. Even like when the original owner died, his someone else took over. That's when they got a little crappy. So under new management, they got a little shitty.
Right.
So now they're under newer management, and now you guys are trying to be shitty again. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Nobody knew you even existed anymore.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Don't try to be relevant.
Don't try to be relevant. Don't try to be Solja Boy. Don't try to crank that. All right? Superman that hoe. All right? Knock it off. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying either.
So let's move on to more people who suck. I think this is the name of the podcast, People Who Suck.
Yeah. I think the picture's going to be like a sucker.
I like that. I was like,
I'm all about imagery, Tim. Imagery.
You are all about that imagery.
Yeah, people do suck. And the next story we're going to talk about is
the new Gillette commercial.
Yeah.
The best a man can get.
Best of Man.
Best a
Here's the
man
thing.
can
I know
get.
that some people are going, how is that geeky? Okay, first of all, a lot of geeks get bullied. And
yeah, it's almost like a
bullying-
rite of passage.
Yeah. And bullying is addressed in this commercial, along with a lot of other toxic male
Activities. Or attitudes.
Yeah. So we wanted to kind of talk about our thoughts on it. And talk about people being upset over the commercial, which is still mind-boggling.
Yeah. I mean, so if you haven't seen this commercial, it's about like a minute and a half. It's a fairly long commercial. You can see it on YouTube in the Gillette page. And it starts off with a couple of guys shaving, and you hear the slogan in the background, and it shows some old imagery of cartoons and old sitcoms of a man grabbing a maid's butt,
or like acting like she's going to,
or acting like he's going to. And there's other imagery of there. I don't remember a lot of it.
It's a lot of imagery that you've got the dads going, "Oh, boys will be boys," with these two little boys beating each other up, and I think there might even be some imagery of other. It's all these images of things that are in male culture that are very toxic.
I think there's like a group of like 7 or 8 boys chasing another kid, and
to beat him up.
They're gonna beat him up,
Yeah.
and there's a kid like a boy crying in his mother's arms, and there's a woman in a business office, and
the mansplaining thing.
the mansplaining thing. And the boss puts his hand on her shoulder and is like, well, what I think she was trying to say was, I don't know, watching the commercial, nothing seemed wrong to me.
No.
Like nothing was. I didn't watch it going, well, why don't you go to hell, Gillette? I didn't have that.
I know.
I didn't have that attitude. I was just like, oh, Gillette put out a pretty thought-provoking commercial. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I looked at it and I thought,
I'm gonna go back to using Bic because I like Bic.
I looked at it when I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is common sense. Just to be a decent human being who happens to be a man."
Yeah, that's really those are the emotions that it drew out of me.
Yeah.
Was that because there was another image of a woman walking by a store, and a guy was about to walk over to talk, I'm gonna go talk to her, and someone else was like, nope, don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
So there was a lot of imagery of quote unquote toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of buzzwords kind of used during this commercial that could offend people who, I don't know, are who really shouldn't be offended. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If I don't like to generalize, but if you were offended by this commercial, you need to rethink some things.
Yeah.
Because there was really nothing in this commercial that they weren't saying anything that shouldn't have been said.
Yeah, don't bully. Maybe when little kids are beating each other up, you pull them apart and say, "Hey, that's not how you work out shit. Like, you talk and be decent human beings. Teach them at a young age."
Yeah.
Like Lou said, if this commercial offends you, you're the problem.
Yeah, you need to rethink your life.
Yeah,
because you're living it wrong.
Yeah, then this commercial is for you to tell you, "Hey,
right, like." What's wrong with a man telling another man, well, don't go talk to her because she is obviously not in the mood to talk to anybody. What's wrong with going over and defending somebody who's being harassed or being physically attacked by a group of kids?
Yeah.
What's inherently wrong with those activities?
Yeah.
Nothing. The real question is, what's inherently wrong with being a human being?
A decent human being.
A decent human being. Because that's all this commercial is saying. Yeah. Because their slogan, "A best a man can get." There's a lot of, like I said, in the beginning, there's a lot of imagery of old cartoons and old TV shows that was, it was completely fine in the 50s and 70s for a male character to grab a female character's butt and just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, hoo-hoo, look at that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're hiding some hams in there?
Yeah.
It was completely fine. It was completely fine for that joke to be made.
To be the 1950s guy.
Yeah, it was completely fine for those jokes to be made.
Yeah,
but me and Heidi and a couple of other people, we talk about this all the time, that there are certain shows that were made back then that cannot be made now.
No, they can't.
All in the Family cannot be made now.
No,
because of there's a lot of racial jokes, and sometimes when you watch it, there's a lesson to be learned in those episodes.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the time, there are some things that you just can't say.
Yeah, and I think some people think, oh, well, why can't they be made because people are offended? No, because we've evolved. You know what I mean? Like, things have their time, and I don't think we should not look at them and never watch them and make them invisible, because they are where we were in history at the time. We need to look at those things. And if you find humor, and you and I and a few other our friends have sometimes some pretty dark humor, and some kind of maybe not very PC humor. Yeah. And that's fine. That's why we play Cards for Humanity.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity. It's great. Yeah.
But we've evolved to where those things are. Are we such a lame species that we can't think of other things that are funny? I mean, we can find other things that are funny. I don't think it's just that people get offended. I think it's that we've evolved past these things, or we should be evolving past these things.
Like there are certain episodes that I go back and watch on certain old shows, like All in the Family, where I still laugh at. They're still funny. They're still great shows, but it's also like, you can't do that now.
You can't do that now.
You can't do that. Like, I forget the show. I always, whenever I'm aggravated with you or somebody else, I go, one of these days, Heidi, right to the moon.
Honeymooners.
The Honeymooners. Yep. Every episode, there was a joke about spousal abuse.
Yeah, I know.
That's a spousal abuse joke. He's telling his wife, one of these days, Alice, I'm going to punch you so hard, you're going to leave the atmosphere of Earth and hit the moon. That's what he's saying to his wife.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. It's still, to watch it now, it's still funny because she gives it back to him and she gives him, she puts him in his place. But you can't make that joke today.
No.
You couldn't make that not only because a large group of people will pick it and tweet and write why they're offended about it, but we also can't say it because we've evolved past that joke.
Yeah. Spousal
abuse jokes are no longer. When you think of a joke, the first joke you think of isn't, I'm going to smack my wife. That's not the first thought. At least it shouldn't be.
Yeah. And if
the first joke that comes to your mind. And if it is, the best a man can get. Am I right, guys? It's like, then you should be watching the Gillette commercial and taking fucking notes.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, especially with their slogan, "The best a man can get," what they're saying is that we can be better.
Yeah.
Our children that are watching us, that's the best a man can get, potentially, because they're going to grow and watch us being reasonable and compassionate and good human beings, and they're going to learn from that. If a kid watches his father be racist to somebody or beat his wife, that's going to be implanted in that kid's brain.
Yeah, because kids aren't born to think that way.
Right. Kids don't are born to hate a race or to hate a sex or to hate a certain person or whatever.
But you said you were watching somebody on YouTube, right? Was it YouTube? Or you were watching some channel where the guy was
on YouTube
going through the video.
Yeah, the guy, I'm not going to say the channel because I don't want to give him any publicity because fuck that guy. But he broke down the commercial and I didn't watch the whole video because it was just annoying because I wanted to watch the commercial first and then watch him commentate. But he was playing the video and then he started commentating right in the beginning, so it was just getting annoying. But he made a few comments around the scene where the boss puts his hand on the female coworker and says, "Well, what she's trying to say is," and he stops the video and he says, "Are we really gonna make a mansplaining comment in 2019?" Okay, it's like 3 weeks into 2019.
Yeah,
okay, nothing's off limits in 2019. It's 3 weeks in. Relax. Okay, knock it off. If this was like August and you were like, "Are we still talking about mansplaining?" then maybe that's an argument, but not really, because guess what? It still happens.
Yeah. It still does.
It still happens.
It still does.
Yes, it does.
When I saw that part, I thought, yeah, because that happens to me. And I am a very, very, I say my opinion, and I don't let people push me around.
Right. Well, Heidi, I think what you mean to say is...
and so
example given.
Yeah. And people still will do that to me occasionally.
Right.
So it still happens in 2019, idiot. Yeah. And obviously that guy doesn't have any women in his life to talk to, so who could tell him, yeah, that still happens all the time.
Right, because it does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's something that happens. And then the next scene is the boys will be boys, where it's just a bunch of dads traditionally cooking by a grill, a barbecue, which is just dad imagery.
Yeah.
Where's dad? By the
grill.
By the grill. And they're watching these two kids fighting each other and, boys will be boys and whatever. And he stops it again. He's like, "Oh, is that a comment?" Like, yeah. I personally haven't heard the boys will be boys comment in a long time. But there have been variations of that have been said.
Yeah.
That it's still, it's still an issue. It was an issue a few years ago when that college track kid raped that girl by the trash can. And his
piece of garbage father.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but he's a piece of garbage, just like his son.
Said, correct me if I'm wrong, Heidi.
I don't think his life should be ruined for a few minutes of something like bad decision.
Yeah.
It's like that girl is that will never go away.
No.
She will never forget that. That is going to damage her at a cellular level for the rest of her life. She was sexually assaulted by your son. How can you sit there and act so blasé about it, it's not a big deal? But that's toxic masculinity. That's that guy not even caring that his son assaulted another human being who happened to be a woman.
Yeah, and to tie it into the Gurk, the geek community.
Yeah.
To tie it into the geek community, let's try that again. This just recently, I don't have all the details, but just recently, a female gamer. She was a Twitch streamer and she was a professional gamer. She was called up to a pro team to play in the Major League Gaming circuit, and there was a huge kind of outrage that this girl was being called up because people had watched her play and people were saying that, "Oh, that's a guy playing. That's not a girl. That's a guy playing." And because because she had been asking a male friend for advice on certain game elements to get kind of coaching or whatnot. Like, if it's a game she hadn't played, hey, what's the best way to go about this or whatnot. So people were apparently accusing her of being a guy.
Because a girl can't possibly be good at anything like that.
Right. So it got so bad that the coach of the major league game of the gaming team had to take her off the team because he was, quote unquote, afraid for her life. That was the problem. Now what had actually happened was she was actually a guy. It was a group of gamers who decided to have a social experiment.
Right.
So they created this fake female account to see how it would go. Now, a lot of people, including the same YouTuber who watched the Gillette video, who I won't name, missed the point of the social experiment.
Yeah.
Because they're defending the whole, well, it wasn't a girl. It was a guy. So everybody's comments were justified. No, they're not justified. Because they had no hard evidence that it was a guy.
Yeah.
No hard evidence at all.
So it could have been a girl.
It could have actually been a girl. Until, like, little things started happening where it was like, oh, I think that is a guy. But before that happened, there was no reason to not believe this was a female gamer.
Yeah.
And even, not even this fake one. There are legitimate Twitch streamers who are female gamers.
Yeah.
Who get shit constantly.
Yeah. Show us your boobs.
Yeah, they have to.
Seriously?
Some of them kind of embrace it and they dress scantily clad and whatnot. But there are some who are wearing full on hoodies and they're dominating in this video game. It's like, yeah, she's a phenomenal gamer. She doesn't have to have views because of her cleavage. She's getting views because she's an awesome gamer and she's very gracious with her community.
Yeah.
That's a girl gamer. And the whole, I made a joke a few episodes ago, fake gamer girl. That's it was a joke towards Heidi, but that's a legitimate phrase
that some people use.
Toxic gamers in my community use with girls because, you see a picture of a girl wearing, holding a controller, wearing, a headset. It's like, fake gamer girl.
Yeah.
How do you know? I mean, you could be right, and it could just be a model who just wants to get Instagram followers, but it could be a legitimate gamer.
But here's my question, though. What does it matter? Like, if, for an example, if a girl is a fake gamer, what does it matter?
I don't know.
Does it change anything? No. It doesn't change anybody's gaming experience, Twitch experience, streaming experience.
No, yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It doesn't matter if it's not a guy. But at the end of the day, girls or women in geek culture struggle with toxic male attitudes.
Yes.
Just like every other culture, every other,
medium.
Athletes and everything else.
Right. Maybe
not to the same extent because some people who are gamers are kind of shy, but people get real brave when they're behind a computer, when they can hide and be very anonymous. So women and young girls have to put up with a lot of garbage from a lot of creeps that say a lot of really crappy things. And the thing is, we are just as good at games as the guys are. We are just as good as a lot of things that the guys are. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Why can't people just enjoy anybody enjoying a genre, a game, a whatever that they enjoy? Why does it have to matter that they're male or female?
There's a real problem with gatekeeping in the kind of nerd community with really anything. The problem is that these self-appointed gatekeepers feel like they have to defend the legitimacy of their the topic they love. So you get these kind of creeps who feel the need to question people's knowledge on things. Like, oh, you're a girl and you're a fan of Star Wars. Oh, what's the name of the home planet of the Wookiees? It's like, it's fucking Kashyyyk. Everybody knows it's Kashyyyk. Go fuck yourself. You're not special because you know it's Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Knock it off. Okay. I've heard stories of women who have gone to and work at GameStop where somebody will go in and they'll be greeted by a female employee, and they'll be legitimately asked, "Oh, is there a male employee that I can talk to?" You're asking for a game off of a shelf. I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
I think my dainty little fingers can grab that cartridge off of the shelf for you, sir. Like, knock it off. Are you going to ask me, like, a specific question about the game you want to buy, or are you just going to come in and call for Call of Duty? Like, knock off.
Yeah. And also, maybe the girl that's working there knows more about the game than the guy does, because the guy doesn't care for the game. Maybe he likes a different game.
Yeah. No, yeah. But there was one time I went in, and the female worker behind the counter at GameStop, I went in, I knew the game I was picking up. I didn't have to ask anybody anything. And she was already there. So I was like, yeah, I'm picking up a new Metal Gear Solid game. And she was like, "Oh, have you played the demo?" And it's so awesome. And I was like, "Yeah, it is awesome." I wasn't surprised. I was happy to be able to talk to somebody who knew the game, because at the time, Metal Gear Solid is kind of it's become like a niche title of, like, that's almost a deep cut nowadays, because there's a lot of thinking involved, and the story is very convoluted, and it's kind of crazy. So you tend to go for other things.
Yeah.
So for some, if it was a girl or a guy who was there, if they would have asked me, "Hey, did you play the demo?" Oh yeah. I cannot wait to take this home and play it for the next 80 hours.
Yeah. But you're a logical person. You understand that that doesn't, whatever somebody has between their legs doesn't matter for them to play a video game or a card game or anything else.
Right. And I've been to GameStops where I've asked male coworkers specific questions, and they had no idea what I was even talking about.
Lou and I've gone into GameStop, and I'm sorry, but some of the people in there, they're jerks.
Yeah. Oh my God. They are assholes. I remember going to quick GameStop story. I remember going into a GameStop with an old friend of mine, and he was not very, like, he never liked asking employees for things. Mm-hmm. So he would always ask me, like, "Hey, Tim, can you just go to the counter and ask if they have any Wiis?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Go to the counter, and it was, I believe, a Saturday. And I asked the guy at the counter, the young kid, probably about my age, "Hey, do you have any more Wiis?" "Oh no, they're sold out." It's a shitty console anyway. Firstly, I didn't ask you your opinion on the console.
Yeah.
I asked you if you had it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not... do you think that by saying that, I'm going to go, "Oh, man, you know what? You're right. Give me the Xbox." You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just... First off, you're a salesman.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me that something sucks?
Yeah, you're not a very good
salesman, bro. Do your job. Would you go to the same school Solja Boy went to? Knock it off. But I said, "Oh, do you know when you'll be getting more?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're supposed to be getting in a shipment this weekend." I said, "Okay, did you get one?" He goes, "It's Saturday." And the employee next to him said, "Yeah, we get mail on Saturdays." And my friend from across the store goes, "Durr." And I'm looking at this kid going, "You're a fucking idiot. Like, stop using all of your brain cells to be a snarky ass."
Yeah.
And use it to have, the kind of common sense to go, "Well, we're supposed to get shipments on the weekends. It's Saturday. We just haven't gotten them any yet."
Yeah, yeah.
You could have just done that.
Yeah.
But you had to be a snarky little shit and give me an attitude about it. Like, dude, knock it off.
Yeah.
First off, you work at GameStop. Yeah. Okay.
You're not saving the planet.
Yeah, you're not saving the planet. I've come here and asked people for legitimate game inquiries, and they didn't even believe me that the game even existed. I was like, "Hey, you got Seven Samurai 20XX?" No, that's a movie." I said, "No, that's a video game. Seven Samurai is the movie. 20XX is the video game. Do you have it?" "Oh, let me check." Lo and behold, they had it. Why are you being an asshole?
Yeah,
I came in here asking you for a game. You're gonna do... That doesn't exist. Dude, I saw it in a video game magazine. It exists. Anyway, that's the...
So basically, don't be a shitty person.
Yeah, don't be a shitty person. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Do some research. Stop being
Stop
mad
complaining about stuff
dumb
that's
things.
not important. Yeah.
knock it off. But yeah, those are the stories for today's episode.
I wanted to make a comment for our Geek-lish team here. We are, and this is on our website as well. We're a new podcast. We're just learning, growing, working through different things. And so we've had some technical difficulties on our last 3 episodes. And we are working on that. And we are working on the feedback we're getting from friends and family. And we just want to tell everybody that we appreciate you sticking with us. And we're going to get better every time. So that's it. I just wanted to thank everybody and just let them know that we're aware, we're working through things. We're like babies. Baby podcast.
Yeah, thank you for being patient with us. Except for Amaya. You can go to hell. I'll call you out on this podcast.
And your lists of demands. No, Amaya is a lovely, lovely human being who we love and adore.
Yeah, we appreciate any and all comments, and as long as they're productive and not just you suck.
Yeah, but we thank our friends and family for listening and letting us know what they think, and anybody else who's listening, thank you.
I know I suck because I asked all of you guys, how are you doing? So I know. Okay. I already know. Thank you for joining us, Heidi.
All right. And again, to find more information about our podcast or listen to our episodes, you can find us on our website, www.geek-lish.com, on our Facebook page at geek-lish, on Twitter at geek_lish, and we're also have our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes.
All right. Stay nerdy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.